and welcome to Q&A Thursday here at the Rag Company Podcast channel, where we have a special episode for you. Our friends Levi Gates and Dane Hennon, they're off to Germany, or off in Germany, as I currently say this. So I pulled in some guests to join us today in their place. So we have Sydney Gwen joining us.
Thank you.
And are you excited?
I'm so excited.
I know.
So excited.
We're going to amp up the energy here. And then we've got Lucas Blaine over here on the other side of me. Lucas from customer service.
Thank you for having me, Anthony.
We're going to have a good... Are you excited?
I'm super excited.
Dude, I'm excited to have both of you.
I love being second string.
And so we're it's all out here. I mean, you can see size-wise, I'm looking...
I feel like I look slumped down.
I am looking like a giant as usual. And I think Lucas being slouched doesn't help.
He's cozy.
Sydney, you're looking very petite over there in the corner.
Well, good, thanks.
So
Yeah.
I think you're set. But today we are here to obviously answer some detailing questions, hang out, talk detailing, talk other things in life. Really, the floor is yours, right? So you're going to be asking the questions and we're going to be chiming in. But as far as some housekeeping things, we usually like to start with that, Sydney. So any housekeeping from yourself and or PNS? Anything to throw out there before we jump into anything else? Any new things, exciting things? You're working on things?
There's lots of exciting stuff coming up. Nothing that I can really talk about, but oh my gosh, there's the fly.
Hold on, dude. So there's this fly. It's on like
That's
demon time, and
yeah.
it's like attacking us violently.
I'm gonna get it. But otherwise, yeah. So in the next, let's see, how many weeks do we have till SEMA? There's a couple new products coming out from PNS in the next couple weeks. So stay tuned for that. I'm super excited about that. And I have a couple trips coming up that I'm super excited about. Yeah. So yeah, from like now till SEMA, it's like go time. Like we've got a lot going on, and all good, exciting stuff. So yeah, and then for me personally, I mean, just I'm busy all the time.
Working on anything exciting? You gonna buy any new cars anytime soon? Anything like that?
No. I mean, I just redid my shop, so
you did? Okay. Yeah,
redid the shop. So I'm still need to get the other half done, and then I'll have you guys back out to check it out. But
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Pretty cool.
Because in that third bay, right, you're gonna make some more changes.
Yeah. So finish that out as part of the shop. So moving all personal stuff into a shed, and putting down Swisstrax and lighting, and kind of just making that whole other side also shop. And I did all new cabinets. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Sweet. No, I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be awesome. Lucas, how about yourself? Any new news in the customer service world of the Rag Company?
In the customer service world, not too much, just taking care of some customers, answering some questions, love talking to you guys. So yeah, it's pretty mellow.
Okay. Is there any people that stand out to you, like that call often, that you just, for sure who they are?
Yeah, let's take this chance to shout out our boy Owen Samuels, who won the OG garage giveaway. So yeah, he's a frequent customer of ours. We talked to him quite a bit. We got Tamara Chase. She recently just sent in some magnets and stuff.
Sweet.
Sends in some cards to me and Aaron. So we love you, Tamara.
Thank you. Cool. No, that's good. And so you're talking to people pretty often, pretty consistently. Yeah. So that's what's one beautiful part about customer service at the Rag Company, is that you do get to talk to a real human. So if you ever have any questions, concerns, hopefully nothing goes wrong with your order, but if it does, then you do have some humans here on the other end that are happy to take care of it through chat, email, or over the phone. So that's pretty much all we got on our end. As far as housekeeping stuff, Levi's gone. Dane's gone. Levi is in Automechanika right now currently. So if you're at Automechanika, make sure you find Levi. I think there's 1 day left, question mark. And he's there with John, Josh, Shane. They're out cruising the aisles. They're working the Rag Company Europe booth with Patrick. And so far, it looks like an awesome time, right? They had Dirk Dew making verse sausages in the booth, and they're eating pretzels. I think Levi was drinking a Coca-Cola earlier, which I think that was the only option for him. So I think that's okay. But it looks like an awesome time as usual, and so we do miss him. Can't wait to have him back. And then Dane is now currently on his way to technically Paris first, Paris, France. They're going to go receive their brother, pick up their brother who's been over there for a few months, and then from there they're going to be making a trip over to Oktoberfest themselves. So if you go to Oktoberfest in Munich, Look for Mr. Dane Hennon. He should be wearing lederhosen. And if you find him, grab a picture with him. I'll figure out there's like a cash towel prize or something like that. Okay, not a cash prize. It'd be a towel prize for sure, because that'd be pretty special. So that's it. So let's go ahead and jump into some of these detailing questions. No iPad today, so they're just gonna start kicking them out. So we got first from Puerto Rico. Hello, TRC team. What's going on, Humberto?
Hello.
First, as always,
yep.
Right? Dan Pfeiffer with a good afternoon word up from Minnesota, USA. Happy Friday Eve, TRC gang. It's partial TRC gang today. How is the new luxury studio treating you? Good question. I think it's been pretty nice. I think it's been sterile.
Yeah.
It's been, clean, organized. I guess, Sid, what do you think? Because you're seeing a new.
Yeah, so I've gotten to record a couple of videos in the new studio, and it's very nice. It's still, everybody's still trying to figure out where everything is. So there's a little bit of like, what drawer is this in? Because there's a million drawers. But super nice, super easy to keep it organized. Yeah, I think it's great.
I think it's like nice.
Yeah,
okay.
I think everything looks super nice.
What do you think? You like it?
Great. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
You dig it?
Yeah.
It's a nice place to be. I mean, I really think that the flooring added a completely different vibe to it. As weird as it was. But we really like the new upgrade of the flooring. The wash bay is amazing. We're not sloshing around in water anymore.
Yeah.
And then the lighting, it feels like the lighting's been pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the lighting's great. And you know what I thought was funny is I think if you've never washed in the old wash bay with the curtain and the floor. So like the other day when I was watching your guys' video and all those shots of like the water and like sloshing through it, trauma response would be a little bit strong of a word, but it was definitely like, oh, like, because you remember that. I mean, I can't tell you how many times your socks and shoes are wet. And so, and you just forget the dirty water. I think, we used to just tune it out. But like, that is so nice to not have that now. And when I saw the video of that, it was like you just kind of cringe because you remember it. But and I like not having like the borders or the curtain. Like, it's nice to have it just one big, nice open
just
space.
Open.
Yeah.
It's like, it's
super
weird
great.
how freeing.
Yeah.
Like, I can't explain. I mean, we're going to do more washes, obviously, here in the future. We're going to get, our feet wet, or our feet not so wet in the future. But, I mean, we'll be able to give you more of a rundown later on. So, next up here, next question, we've got the one who shall remain nameless. We're going to go ahead and call him Fido today. Fido says, good afternoon from sunny Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Happy Friday, Junior TRC family. How y'all been this past week? Good. Busy. I think everybody's been busy.
Yeah.
We've been, this show's been a big thing, and getting more content now that we have the studio up and running, because now we no longer have our inter-studio embargo with going out there and making content, because, now you guys have seen the studio transformation. We're ready to get back to, making more videos. So it's been going good. All right, so next up here, Great Dane Films.
Look at that.
God, he can't get away. We're literally like...
He's got to make sure you're doing your job.
He might be the one that's running the iPad
Take
right
a
now.
vacation, Dane. Like let go. He says, currently somewhere in the air above southern Idaho, and looking forward to Anthony, a solo show. Well, Dane, you've been replaced. Yeah. Well, I don't know which side to be on. So I'm actually in the middle.
Actually, you replaced him.
Although I hear there may be guests. Yes, there is guests. And so Dane was probably going to be in the comments, checking things out. Yeah. Hans says, I heard the guest is the famous IROC lady. No, I'm sorry. Sydney is not the famous IROC lady. No. Nor is she Trish,
Oh, Trish. I love
remember
Trish.
Remember that story?
God, that's the best story ever.
It's a fun story.
Whatever happened to her?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Such a great story.
I have new neighbors that have just moved in next door to me. Which I'm probably sure there will be stories in the future, but I'm not gonna spill the beans yet, because I'm waiting for there to be a good enough story to where everything unfolds. Yeah. And then everybody goes, no way, that's crazy. But gosh. I can't put too much out there yet. So, David saying, what's up, guys? And then another question we've got, or another comment, moving down. Jimmy Moto says, wow, been busy and missed a few episodes. Things have changed. Gorgeous looking room. Lucas, what do you think? You like the room?
It's a great room. I like it. I've been in this room a couple times, but
I miss the table. I miss the coverage. It was a safe. It was like having a blanket over us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now we're out there. You can see everything that we're.
Yeah, it's kind of like a
bit more vulnerable now.
It was kind of like newscasters where they're like wearing the suits on top, but like the sweats on the bottom.
Yes,
it's kind of like that. It's like only you knew what was under there.
Yes, only I knew what was going on underneath there. Nobody else needed to know, and now you guys do, right? Yep. So we have to start wearing proper pants to work.
Right.
Quality Touch says, just got my haul yesterday, and it's like Christmas in September. Love y'all. Love all the products. Thank you. I'm glad you scored some stuff. Very good. And then next up here, we've got Humberto says, does the space remodeling has taken into account the issues you had with the past live streams where sound was lost? Yes. Okay, there's a thumbs up. We have a curtain over here, and Nick just gave us a thumbs up. So I'm assuming that has been addressed and taken care of. So yeah, in the future, we will have better live experiences out there. Great Dane says, I was just really excited to see the new countdown screen we shot last week, and I'm happy to say it's as great as I had hoped. Thank you, Dane. Glenn killed it. Yes, she did. That was that whole pre-roll thing you guys saw of us kind of going to the cabinets and messing things up. That was Glenn behind that, and she did an awesome job. It makes things way more interesting. That's funny. Sid, I'll have you read this one.
Jimmy Moto says, I've been watching the countdown for about 11 minutes, and I feel bad that nobody has found what they're looking for. Yeah.
It's actually just us going and making a mess and somebody cleaning it behind us. But it is. You can also look at it as we don't know what the heck things are. Alex says, hello, beautiful people. In a meeting for this one. We'll catch it later. Love you all. Thank you, Alex. We miss you, man. We love you. Thank you. And next up, we've got Anton says, hello, everyone. And then here we go. Lucas, go for it.
Anthony, did you know Phil Miranda was Portuguese? His YouTube channel is Miranda Details. He's based in Virginia, and he comes from the Azores lineage. You two may be cousins. He big and strong like you.
I actually did not know that Phil Miranda was Portuguese. I actually had no idea what he was. That actually probably makes a lot more sense now. But I actually met Miranda. Remember when we were at
in Chicago?
Not the Serum Summit, the Creator Summit, right?
The Creator Summit in Chicago. Yeah,
and Phil was there with his wife, right?
Yeah.
And they were both really nice.
Oh yeah, super great people.
They're super nice people. Yeah. I just didn't get a lot of time with them, honestly, as far as like.
Yeah, we shot a video with him. They were great. His wife was great. I didn't know that much about him before we went, and so I was. He was very nice.
I had no idea he was Portuguese. That is interesting. Yeah, he actually looks quite Portuguese now, and I can actually kind of tell from his hair, actually. Is that weird? Like his darker hair, his features there that remind me of some family. I am of the lighter palette, of all the different, things that got chosen in the, the process. But anyways. So, but he's big and strong like me. Thank you, David. Okay. Anna says, wow, what a crew. Lucas and C. I know. Woo. We pulled some strings to make some magic happen, get some famous people here.
Yep.
And don't get used to it, though, right? Next week may just be me and Levi. So, Lucas and SBG, what's up?
What's going on?
Up?
And then Quality Touch says, Lucas, I just got off the phone with you with package issues. Thanks again, man.
Of course, man. I'm happy to help.
Did do we have package issues from time to time?
Every once in a while, but when you're sending out thousands of things a day, it's bound to happen one or two times here and there.
I'm glad we got you on the other line. We got you on the other side.
That's what I'm saying. Now we got Brandon in customer service too, so a lot of you guys have probably been chatting with him lately. He's doing a great job.
Believe it or not, we actually only had one. Well, we had one customer service agent many years ago, and there was only one customer service, and then we went to two, and then we were at two for quite some time, right? And then now that we have Brandon and Aaron, so now we've got three people.
Three now.
It's almost a department.
Yeah, it's almost a whole department.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So when people call in, do they specifically ask for Lucas? Like, do they say I need to talk to Lucas?
I don't think so. It's maybe happened like once or twice, or same thing
They
with
just
like
take
Aaron
whoever
and
they
stuff.
get.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things too, where like you have customers that on email maybe have spoken to somebody so many times, so they always just reach back out to the same person, kind of thing.
How funny.
Do they if you ever answer the phone, are they like, are you Lucas from like a video? Have you ever said that?
I've had a couple people call. I'm like, oh, are you in the the React videos? Oh, so
wow, that's cool. You are famous.
It's a couple pumps to the ego here.
It's good. It's good. It's good. Right into the vein. Next up here, we've got. What kind of name is this? SJ115284.
Wow,
Default name.
Yeah. Hey TRC and chat gang, how do you deal with customers that were unsatisfied with your work? Oh, that's actually a good question. I got a trash car and I could only get it back to a certain level due to the conditions and the amount of grime. Sydney.
Yeah. So I think this is something that you have to make sure when you do like the pre-inspection and the walk around with the customer, you kind of need to let them know you need to find out what their expectations are, and then you need to share what your abilities are. And I think that's really important. So I always tell people, given the amount of stains that are on these carpets, I might be able to get them 50% better. Now inside, I might think I'm going to get them 75% better, but I always kind of undersell it so that their expectations are actually exceeded when they pick it up. Right. So again, on the outside, whatever's going on, I always try to underplay it and say, given the situation or given the time or given our budget, this is where we're going to end up. So especially on like trashed cars, I always try to set the expectation level before we even get started. Even if somebody has dropped something off and, there's a lot of times that you get into it, like you'll open the door and you think, okay, that's pretty dirty. And then like you really start moving stuff around and you're like, whoa, this is way more, I'll just go ahead and give them a call and say, hey, I found this or found that or found this source of odors. Here's going to be our expectation on that. So I think that if you set the expectation and you actually set it low, then you're going to prevent having them unsatisfied when they come back because, you really want, and I underplay it a lot. Mm-hmm. Like I say, this stain's not going to come out. This one is going to come out, even though I know in my head that it's probably going to be okay. But that way it kind of gives them a heads up too, like this may not look great, and then you kind of have to put it back on them too. Say, when something has been deteriorated for so long, there's only so much we can rewind.
Right.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Just good communication.
I haven't had a lot of people that were unsatisfied. But I do remember one specific thing where I did a Honda Odyssey one time, and they told me they went to the beach with it, right? Yeah. So, and he told me, hey, there's a lot of sand everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember going, okay, sand's not going to be a big issue. I said I had everything. It was a mobile detail, right? I had to bring everything with me to this guy's house, and I brought everything with me, and I was like, okay, I think I should have everything I need to be able to get this done. And this was before the the for real existed, but this was before a lot of the extra brushes that we have now from like Detail Factory existed and stuff like that. And I was really, it sucked, right? And this was before the tricks of you put the polisher on the thing and shaking the sand loose. Oh yeah. So it was a struggle, but I remember there was gum involved too, where I had to get rid of some of this gum, and there was probably like 6 or 7 stamped in gum pieces that they wanted to get removed. Yeah. And I tried my best to get everything out as I could. I'd actually cut some of it out, but I never forget when I was pretty proud with how things turned out, given the time frame and everything. And he goes, awesome, sounds good. He opens up the trunk or whatever it was, and he goes, did you flip up these parts of this and get underneath here? And I go, no, I just worked around, I worked around everything, and I was just trying to get to what I could get to, right? And he goes, oh, well, hold on. And he opens up all this crap, and like sand was everywhere. And he goes, oh man, I was really hoping you were going to get all this. Yeah. It was like 7:00 at night. I was like done. And I'm like, okay, I'll go over it really fast. And that was the only time that somebody was like, I wasn't really happy, but live and learn. Lucas, have you had anything?
Honestly, I've never had anything too crazy. More of just like kind of like what Sydney was saying. I think always the most important thing is educating the customer right off the bat. To set the expectation. That way you can only exceed their expectations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, every once in a while, I've had like one of my really frequent clients of mine. Like he every once in a while he'll kind of look at stuff and just kind of like nitpick here and there. Like or maybe he was expecting something that wasn't part of the service kind of thing. Like, oh, what about this spot? It's like, well,
yeah. And I always too like. With my customers, I always let them know there's 2 areas where if they're full, I just close the door. So I always let them know glove boxes and center consoles. If they leave stuff in them, they stay closed. Yeah. So I let them know if you want your glove box and your center console
that's a good way
detailed,
to do it,
you have to, they have to be empty. If I open it and there's stuff in it, I close the door. I mean, usually I like wipe the edge, but that's about all. And so I always let them know that ahead of time. Because that is the one area that I've only had ever one complaint. And it was that I didn't clean the center console. And I was like, yeah, but it was full of stuff. Like, I'm not going to take all that stuff out. Like, that's personal stuff.
It feels weird.
Yeah. And so I tell them that. Like, if you want the center console cleaned, you have to, it has to be empty. So
I do the same thing with trunks as well.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Take that. All right. Next up here, we've got Hans that says, that man without a cap, aka Mr. Customer Support, Lucas needs to get a pay raise, though.
Appreciate you, Hans.
Keep rooting for him, Hans. You know, I'm sure the HR department will be.
The words mean a
lot. Here we go. Kevin says, SPG, what's your take on using crystal wash in a pump sprayer? I heard you had concerns about the atomization breathing it in.
Yeah, so this kind of came up about a year ago, and you know, honestly, the idea of it totally freaked me out. I was like, I don't think this is a good idea. You know, crystal wash in itself, you know, causes us to cough, and I mean, we really should all be wearing masks and stuff when we use it. It's a great product. Like, I use it every single day. And so I was concerned about it, but then Dave and I actually in my shop did a test kind of, you know, with watching where it goes in the air and things like that. And honestly, because of the weight of crystal wash, it doesn't really atomize as much as we would assume. And so it tended, like, watching it in a pattern with Dave, he was also of the opinion that he felt like it was okay to use out of an IK multi. I still spray it on, but, you know, with the test we did, it probably is okay to use out of an IK multi. But again, I mean, you really should probably be wearing a mask anyway. Okay. It does make you cough.
Yeah. If it makes you cough, you should be wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Next up here, we've got Ire says, there's the lads and lady. Yes, a little bit of a different lad team here. Sal or Lass, or the lasses, right? Like as Anthony said. Okay, no jokes. Okay, anyways, moving on. Alexander says, very smart to clean up the workstation immediately before the show starts. Love the hustle and enthusiasm. Happy to see some lovely stickers replaced on the cabinets. Can we get any close-ups? So Alexander, we are not out there. It wasn't necessarily a live feed, but we did shoot that
right
to be the feed kind of before this. So hopefully, I understand. Dino says, hello, what's going on? What's going on, man? And Jeff C. When are we finding out what you guys did to Anthony's spousal transportation unit?
Oh,
I don't know when.
Probably in a couple weeks, but it was pretty exciting. It was pretty exciting.
I think it still is exciting.
Yeah.
They still continue to be excited about it. That vehicle is on its way to McCall.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to know some stuff here, in the next few days when it comes back, right? Because she's going to be gone for a while. And so we'll see what happens with that. You'll find out more, Jeff.
Yeah. It was a great day. It was super fun to spend the day with it.
Yep. Random reviews. Hey, winter is coming soon here. What detailing products should I avoid storing in a freezing garage? Sydney, do you have any advice there?
I'm going to say like all your detail sprays. So Paint Gloss, Bead Maker, Defender, Dream Maker, Clean Maker, all of those are not super stable to be frozen over and over again and thawed out. So I would say definitely anything with SiO2 in it, and really any sealants or detail sprays I would probably avoid. Compounds and polishes are pretty stable. It would take really, a lot to freeze them. But generally speaking, though, across the board, try to keep your chemicals in a stable environment.
Yeah. Lucas, anything that you want to add?
No, I would have said the same thing. Sealants and quick detailers. That's probably the ones I would advise being the most careful of.
Yeah.
Soaps are usually fine, except just depending on the viscosity of the soap and the kind of chemical makeup, they can get very jelly. Sometimes they can get kind of clumpy. If you have rags to riches, don't store it in a freezing. If you have rags to riches out there, bring that inside.
Yeah, for sure.
And keep that in a nice temperature controlled area. Humberto says, I hope you didn't overpromise, but better to see the deal with customers in order to properly address the issues, but always make it clear the vehicle is trashed according to package. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Next up here, Kevin says, only wearing shorts today. I'm only paying half the OnlyFans fee today.
So here's the deal. The Boise weather, Lucas and I read the weather report.
Yeah.
So we went from 93 to 58 today.
Yeah.
You missed the memo.
And I'm a little prepared.
No, I absolutely missed the memo. But
we came prepared. It is freezing outside.
I didn't get to enjoy my summer this year as much. So I'm kind of holding on to whatever I can left, right? In terms of freedom. You know what I mean? Before I put the leg prisons on. And,
oh man.
I'm trying to figure out what to do this year actually in terms of pants. So I'm going through this stage in my life where
awkward stage.
So do you remember we used to wear joggers all the time, right?
Yeah.
Cargo joggers have the little cufflinks at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Super comfortable, right? There's just super comfortable, way to wear clothing. Style wise, they're not as in anymore. Not like that style that I like with the cargo,
like the cargo style,
because I like that, but they're not as in anymore. But I love how comfortable joggers are. But I'm also, 34 years old, right? I'm coming up on my mid-30s, right?
Do you want to know what the 40-year-olds are wearing?
What are the 40-year-olds wearing right
They're
now?
wearing Lululemon and Viore joggers. Okay. Performance joggers.
Performance. Okay, and that's acceptable in a professional environment?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
And this is Lululemon.
Lululemon or Viore. Performance joggers.
Are those not $100 pants?
Oh, they're $100.
They're $100
or more.
So
but they're going to last you the rest of your life.
How do you know that?
Because that's just how they're built.
Just Lululemon stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a pair of Lululemon leggings for 7 years.
So it's called Lulu legging joggers.
Lululemon men's performance
sorry.
joggers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Men's
and they're super soft. I mean, they look brand new every time you wash them. Yeah, worth every bit of $100.
Okay.
And more. Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out my pants situation because I'm in videos here, right? We're in videos. How can I look professional? Yeah. How can I still look fun, youthful, right?
Yeah.
And still let the legs breathe, right? Because the things with jeans, jeans are tough still for me.
Go to Lululemon, try on a pair. Trust me on this.
Should I take my wife there?
You can. Yeah, she'd probably appreciate that. It's going to cost you more if you take her with you, but
yeah. Okay, if I take Katie with me, okay. All right.
Totally. But no, seriously.
Okay, but that's what the 40-year-olds are wearing. So, but is that Lucas? You're in your 20s, right?
Dude, Lululemon's great.
Yeah,
I have a couple pairs of joggers.
I just took Tristan to Lululemon last night. Yeah.
To be fair, I have ripped both of my pairs from some freak accidents, but other than that, they're great.
But you wash them and they look just like they did when. I mean, literally, there's nothing you can do to them.
So how did I miss the memo? Was that when?
And they're so comfortable. It feels like you're wearing pajamas, but they don't need ironed.
Yeah.
They're amazing. They're so comfortable.
Shoot, okay.
You got to give them a try.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. All right.
Seriously.
Thank you for the
Unreal.
Hit
this brand, UNRL.
Oh, yeah.
I love this brand.
Is it a real brand?
Yeah. It's a Minnesota-based brand.
It's a legitimate brand? It's not like something off the internet or something like that?
You can get it at Scheels.
Scheels. Okay. Dino. I really wanted to visit Levi at Automechanika, but life got in the way and I can't make it.
Oh,
but I hope they have a really good time. They are having a good time, Dino. It's... seems like a party, man. I mean, I don't know what else to say other than all the videos I've seen. It's dance music in the background and, a bunch of people in the detailing industry hanging out, having a good time. So here in 2 years, I think maybe I'll go to that next Automechanika trip and we'll see what that's like. Here we go. David Boyce, Sydney, what's the name of that decontaminant soap by PNS? Lucas, when is the handheld e-foamer coming before SEMA? So 2 questions for both of you.
Frostbite.
Okay.
Frostbite. It's awesome.
that's what he's referring to? I'm
yeah,
assuming.
Sure.
So,
I'm assuming because
so.
that's kind of the latest one that we have that's actually considered
a little bit higher pH.
A higher pH that's going to do a little bit more stripping. So yeah,
available now.
Yeah,
you can get the ragcompany.com.
Yeah. Now in gallons as of last week.
Now in gallon sizes. So David, go pick some up.
Yep.
Awesome. So
as far as the handheld e-foamer, he would probably be the guy to ask about that. I know nothing.
What's an e-foamer?
My guess would be they might release it at SEMA this year.
Remember the TRC it's the Foam Pro 2.
Oh,
but
right.
with the built-in
compressor.
Compressor at the bottom.
Right, yeah.
Super cool.
Okay, yeah, cool.
David, oh man, I don't know if it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be before SEMA. Maybe sometime around SEMA. Maybe after. I don't know. I'll probably know more here within the next, couple weeks or so.
I'd assume they'd showcase it at least at SEMA.
I think it's going to be showcased for sure. There probably will be the very first versions of that, but the beauty of TRC is that we get this real, first look at what's going on months and months and months before most people would even know about it. And so I think we got spoiled super early. So now I think we're all just kind of, waiting for when that's going to happen. But I totally get it. So hopefully soon. Next up here, we've got Aaron says, since the gatekeepers of the new product info are gone,
oh, gosh.
Anthony, spill the tea and beans. What's coming up for TRC SEMA this year? The gatekeepers' new product info. This year, there's going to be some changes and upgrades to things that currently exist right now. But I think it will be some much needed upgrades. There's going to be some accessories and replaceable parts for certain things as well, which I think will be really, helpful. But as far as other new and game changing stuff, the way things are going to be plotted, the way things are being built out currently, and the way myself am currently working on some of these projects, it is most likely going to wrap around to TRCMA rather than being available for SEMA. But we will have some new stuff for SEMA. It just, we feel like some of these products, we feel like that TRCMA gets a better traction on some of this stuff, right? Yeah. Because there's so much stuff being launched at SEMA that it's kind of hard to keep track of everything, and you don't want your stuff to get lost in the mix.
Yeah,
builds a little bit more hype.
Us. Yeah. We P&S has some really exciting stuff coming out at SEMA, but I totally agree with you because it's hard. Like at TRCMA, it's so great because you get to literally focus on that the whole week. But at SEMA, it's a little bit harder because you're at SEMA, and to be trying to build the hype on social media and stuff is really hard. Yeah. So I totally get that. Yeah. I love the releases at TRCMA.
Well, TRCMA too, you're showcasing one brand of new products at a time, whereas SEMA there's booths for miles. So,
but we do have some good stuff coming out of SEMA, which I'm very excited about. Yeah. So I'm going to try to figure that out. But
in what you guys do helps benefit us, right? And so we benefit from that, and we get to be just as feel just as involved with a lot of that stuff, and I think we technically are involved with some of the stuff, right? It makes it really fun. But no, there's going to be a lot of cool new stuff coming out just in general from the detailing community that I think you guys are really going to like. And there's actually some stuff that's out on the table right there that we were just testing that will be announced at SEMA this year, so that'll be cool as well. Next up here, we've got this fly biting my legs. Hey, this is what I mean, right? Maybe I should have the jogger memo today, right?
Yeah.
I'm all exposed. I'm all out there. Alex says the studio upgrades will allow Anthony to finally find his phone and wallet when he aimlessly puts them down. Alex, you're actually correct there, right? Weirdly enough, having clean counter space makes it very easy for me to find my phone. So it's been nice. Next here we've got Iyer says, could Sydney give me her breakdown and best uses for Defender?
Oh man, so I use it on absolutely everything. So breakdown. So I do use it a lot. So as we all know, I do wash, clay, seal pretty much on every car that I'm not coating. So it's kind of either one or the other. And so I always use Defender on pretty much every single one that I do wash, clay, seal. Now, I do like to preface that generally speaking, most detailers are going to use that as an upgrade to the wash, clay, seal process. So, you might offer the customer, for a longer term sealant, you are going to use Defender and you upgrade for like $100 and it takes you 5 minutes to put it on. It's great. For myself, I pretty much do that to every single car because my customers, just the way that I run my business, they do come back every 6 months to a year, like without fail. And so I kind of put the Defender on for myself because it does make the car a lot easier to clean the next time it comes in. Pretty much every single set of wheels, regardless if it's coating or maintenance or whatever, every single set of wheels gets wiped down with Defender. It's awesome on glass. I just used it. I just cleaned my house this morning. I used it on all the mirrors, on the shower doors, on the kitchen, on the countertops. Yeah. So I use Defender on absolutely everything. And I even use it like my final wipe inside. So when I'm done with my detail and I'm kind of just going in and, rechecking everything. So wiping down the nav screen, polishing any of the chrome, the center console, if it's that piano crazy stuff. So I spritz just like one spritz on an FTW and I go around the whole car and just kind of touch everything up. So I use it on everything. Yeah. The only thing that I don't use it on is like tires. Yeah. It's pretty much the only surface I don't use it on. I mean, I put it on my cabinets. Yeah. I love Defender.
It's a very,
goes on everything.
Goes on everything. Goes on everything really well.
Yep.
Han says, Trivium Trish is behind the camera. I wish. Trivium Trish, I love that, dude. That's amazing. We need shirts someday. I wish you would
have taken pictures of her, though. Like, we could really use some photos.
Trish Lucas was...
It's like the best story ever.
It was. I'm not gonna get into the whole story, but it was the woman that was out in front of my house, in my plot of land, like that area of land that
like seemed sketchy
by my house, but it seemed super sketchy. She was blasting rock music. It'd been like days like that. She had been out there at the same time every night. Didn't know what was going on. So I basically was like I had enough one day, and I went to go approach her, so I threw on an extra big shirt to make myself look larger than life, and you know what I mean. I basically pumped myself up to go and put my foot down, right? Say this is enough. I've had enough of you parking across my street, freaking out the neighbors, freaking me out. And then it just turned out to be this lady who just wanted to rock out and smoke cigarettes. And she was just super nice. And she's like, hey, what's your favorite kind of music? And I was like, I don't know. I like rock music. She's like, give me a band. And off the top of my head, I was like, literally, I don't even listen to Trivium that often. But I'm like, Trivium. And she goes, sweet, what's a good song? I'm like, I don't know. And she goes, this one right here. I go, sure. And we both listened to this song for the first time. And I was like, damn, this song is good.
Did you get inside her car? Or were you standing outside of it?
Oh, Sydney, I would have gotten so much secondhand smoke. I was getting enough secondhand smoke just being outside of the car. Oh I did not sit in the car, but I did rock out with her, leaning into her car with her for a while.
Okay. She would just sit outside your house in the car?
We bonded over that moment, and she said, hey, if you don't want me to come back here. I'm like, no, I think you're fine now. And she goes, I just want to get away from my mom because I live with her. But she's Trisha's in her late 30s, maybe early 40s. So it was just kind of a different thing. Gotcha. But it was just amazing,
Shout out Trish.
Shout out to Trivium and Trish.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Let's see. What's it say? The rear.
There are some who call me Tim.
Wow.
There's some who call, but why is that?
I can't. I could not even start to work that out.
Well, no, we know who Tim is, but we just didn't. It was the first time reading in that format. It says, what do you guys know about this new House of Rags place? Is popping up with some familiar faces. I don't really know a whole lot, to be honest. I kind of know what you guys see, the same thing. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Same thing.
Yeah.
We see what you guys see, so I don't know. Next up here, we've got Getty Costello says, is there any reason to use a water spot remover on a vehicle even though there's no water spots? Wouldn't a panel prep be sufficient before you polish the vehicle? Even though there's no water spots. So
I would not.
No, there's no real reason. I mean, if you're going through the other process of claying, or if you're planning on polishing, or whatever it may be, somebody can argue that the paint could have minerals in it. But if there's no visible water spots, then technically there's no reason to use a water spot remover, as you are going to be hopefully addressing any type of surface contamination or any type of things embedded in the clear in other areas. But as far as a panel prep be sufficient before you polish the vehicle, wash it in clay and then polish. Then polish it. Panel prep before if you want, but there's not necessarily a reason to use unless you know for sure there's like a built-up weird mineral. There's like a mineral. The only thing I think of is like there's like a mineral film that you just can't get off with anything else. Then maybe.
Yeah. But and I think probably the most important thing is just correct prep is going to make your polish step go a lot easier. So as far as a water spot remover, I think that, that's a true acid. Yeah. I don't think you should use an acid unless you know that you need it, because it's just being a little bit overboard. Now, we can say, crystal wash. We always tell people to use crystal wash, which is a mild acid, but that's not going to remove water spots. So, it's a mild acid that can be used. So that's going to break away any contamination. Definitely do the clay step. So you want to use a decon, but water spot remover and like acid is a whole different thing. And I would not use that on a vehicle if you don't need to. Because really what you're trying to do is you're trying to get contamination off so that the contamination doesn't get into your pads during the polishing process. That's the goal there. But if I would not use acid on anything that didn't truly need it. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Next up here, we've got Too Fresh Detail Studio says, hey guys, it's been a while. I had to get a full-time job in detail on the side. How would you get motor oil out of a carpet on a 2000 Jeep Grand Cherokee? Lucas, do you have any ideas? How do you get motor oil out?
I don't think I've ever had to take motor oil out of carpets. I don't know where to start with that, to be honest.
Okay. Sid, do you have any motor oil experience?
You're going to want to start with something that's going to absorb some of that oil. So, you're going to want to start with something like baking soda or, what's that, carbonate clay or whatever that stuff is. Basically cat litter, for lack of a better word, but whatever that clay substance is. So I would try to absorb some of it out, because you don't want to go in and then obviously you're going to use a degreaser. You need something that's going to break up the grease. You could absolutely use steam, but before you start doing that though, you're going to want to try to absorb most of that out to begin with. Because if you just start with a degreaser and steam, all you're doing is just breaking it up and moving it around. So I think probably the first step is to try to absorb some of that out first.
So if it's new oil, like you've just spilled it, right? Yeah, absorb as much as you can. Yeah. Get it out. Don't try. You spray water on it; it's just going to repel. It's going to beat up the water, right? It's oil, right? So you have to find something to break that surface tension and be able to break through it, right? And so that's where you're going to use degreasers. You're going to use things like that, but you got to be careful, right? Because on you don't want to go too crazy on certain carpet. But if it's a 2000 Jeep Grand Cherokee, what are we talking? Is it tan carpet? Is it dark gray carpet? Is it light gray carpet? Yeah. You got to kind of figure out what's going to be the best take on that. But is it fresh? Is it old? What do you know? So next up here, we've got another question from Pause Joey Belinsky. Says, hello, my friends. Sorry I'm late. I was doing some actual work, but I'm back to slacking off again. Oh, good. Thank God. All right, good. We don't want you to work too hard there, Joey. Happy Friday the 13th Eve is tomorrow. Yes,
and you know what's so weird is I got like an alert on my phone earlier, and I don't remember if it was from Apple or what, but it was literally like it's one day before Friday the 13th, and I was like, this is such a weird alert.
Yeah. I didn't get that alert.
It was really weird. I was like, what kind of psycho situation is this?
I wouldn't plan on doing much tomorrow. I know, probably right? Don't leave the house. Gosh. Make sure your kids are home. Yeah. Say, hey, what are you guys doing? Just come here. Be here at the house today. I got this weird alert.
Yeah. It was really bizarre.
I'm trying to think how often. The thing is, we have a lot of Friday the 13th at some point throughout the year, I feel like. But it's always like, oh, it's Friday the 13th coming up. I think the only time a Friday the 13th is like truly like spooky or whatever it is, probably in February. Or not February, October.
Right. Yeah. If you like watch the movie on Friday the 13th, then you're probably scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Don't do that.
That's it. I don't think it's too crazy other than that. Yeah. Lucas, read this for me.
The Meridian Marmot says, I missed the table too. Would settle for the individual face views instead of trying to show everyone in the same shot. I already have to look up this guy's shorts when in the privacy of my own hole.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, that marmot knows me best. Ayers says, Friday the 13th tomorrow and my gal going axe throwing in work. Don't see that ending well. I already said be very careful. I know that you like throwing things around your castle, right? That you live in. You missed this whole. We built lore around Ire. We've established that he is rich and he is of some type of royalty, and he lives in a castle in Ireland. And so, yes, I already know you have armor and a bunch of crap hanging from your walls there in your castle. Just be careful when you start throwing the axes and stuff. Next up here, we've got LHF. Sydney, if memory serves me correct, you have Swisstrax in your shop. With not having a drain, how does that affect the climate inside your shop when you wash vehicles inside?
So I do have Swisstrax. I do not have a drain. That being said, I generally only use my pressure washer on wheels and like the fender wells and things, and then I do rinseless wash. So I don't fully wash the car inside with like a lot of water. If I'm using the pressure washer for a long period of time, it does get a gallon or two on the floor. It all falls underneath. My garage is fully climate controlled, so it's a consistent temperature. So generally speaking, most of the water evaporates or it rolls down. My garage is very slightly sloped, but enough to where it all drains out to the end of the garage door, and it sits in a little channel. And so usually 9 months out of the year, it just evaporates on its own and it doesn't cause me any issue. When it's like the dead of the winter and it's cold, when I go to open the garage door, it'll be kind of puddled there. So I have a special shop vac that I just kind of suck that channel up real quick and get the water out of there. But honestly, I don't get that much water. When it's super hot in the summer, so I'm talking like over 100 degrees and my shop is trying to stay at 70 with the air conditioner, it is also a is it called a humidifier or a dehumidifier? Yeah. And so sometimes it has a little bit of trouble keeping up. So maybe for like 20 minutes after we wash the wheels, it'll be a little bit humid in there, but not anything. I mean, it's a way better than when I used to work with nothing and just in a hot garage. So yeah. Really
quick here. Hold on. Just on speakerphone, I got Levi Gates, Master of Shine here, joining us on Q&A Thursday. Levi Gates.
Hey guys, Levi here from calling in from Frankfurt, Germany, where we have been attending the Automechanika 2024.
Wow.
Nice.
What can I do? Any Automechanika questions anybody needs answered? People want to know what we did, where we're at. I'm currently walking through a wooded area on the side of the Autobahn as I head in search for carbonated beverages.
So I'm probably not going to keep you on for very long, Levi, but I did want to answer just to give people a moment to witness your voice, right? In case they were missing you a lot this week. And so, can you just tell us just a brief thing about how the show's been going?
Well, it's been great. You got not only Rag Company HQ, but Rag Company Europe, as well as Alan Medcraft Team PNS, as we hold down the fort with Dirk Dew. Cooking up some delicious wursts every day of the show, the trade floor. So it has been an exciting time. People have been lining up not only for fine microfiber and PNS chemicals, but the famous Dirk Dew wurst.
Wow.
Which is a delicacy in and of itself.
That's amazing, Levi. Yeah.
The sights, the smells of Automechanika coming to you live at this 11 p.m. Time zone as I'm walking along the Autobahn, fearing for my life.
Yeah.
Trying to get you guys the news and the reporting that you deserve.
Thank you, Levi. I think we're going to get back to the show. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. All right. Have fun.
Yes, thank you. All right, so that was Levi Gates, Master of Shine, Frankfurt, Germany. They are live on the scene at Automechanika. Super great to hear his voice. Glad he's doing well. Hopefully stays safe there walking the Autobahn, right? We don't want to have him be hit stray by a car going well over the speed limit. David Boyce, chiming in on the chat, says, Lucas and Sydney, what's your go-to product for a faded gray bumper that used to be black? Also, what polish are you using on piano black pillars around windows and trim? Or around window trim?
So for me, I obviously use solution finish, but if it's not too far gone, then honestly, I usually just grab Inspiration classic coating is great. It brings back a lot of the colors. So I actually use that a lot if I don't need solution finish. So there's like a point where you go, okay, I'm actually going to have to dye this with a true dye back. So solution finish is great. Otherwise, a lot of times you can just get away with using a coating. And then polish on piano black. Always, I'm going to say rehab. Rehab is great on piano black. Love it. Usually rehab on even like a black or yellow or even sometimes the blue pad. It is great on piano black. Yeah. Love it.
Great. Lucas.
If it's not too far gone, and it depends on like what they're paying for, but typically you can hit it with just like a trim dressing or something. That'll kind of darken it back up. If it's super far gone, then solution finish for sure. For piano black B-pillars, hyper polish.
Okay, cool. Yeah, great. Love that. All great info. I would agree with both of you. Neil White says, Sydney, I love PNS products. One product I don't hear / see much is about the Inspiration ceramic coating. Do you get to use it on clients' vehicles? And if so, how's the application process?
So I'm assuming he means the classic, right? Yeah. So that's funny that they just asked this because I just said what I use it for. So I do use Inspiration Classic pretty often. So generally speaking, as far as ceramic coatings, most of my customers, I give them options. I give them levels. Most of them choose the 5+ year. So I do probably maybe 1 in every 10 coatings is going to be a 3-year, which would be the classic. But I do use it a lot on wheels. It's awesome on wheels. It's a really, really good coating for wheels. I use it a lot on the trim. So if I'm doing a longer term coating and they do have plastic trim, I'll usually use the classic on all of the trim. Bed caps, I use it on all the time. Like, the plastic on the top of Ford bed caps, I use it on that. It's great on headlights. So I use it kind of as those, when I'm not necessarily doing a full coating job. So if I'm doing headlight restoration, I always put Inspiration Classic on. On the inside of the car, I've used it a lot. So like the fly is going crazy. I use it a lot on like the seat, the seatbelt buckles fade and turn like orange when they should be red. Yeah. So I'll put it on like a little, like a Q-tip swab thing and, coated on the sweet seatbelt buckles, always makes them turn back red. So I kind of use it like to fix little stuff a lot, but when using it on the paint, it's actually such a great coating to use. So it goes on really easy, but it is like a wipe on, wipe off. So there's not a lot of flash. There's not a lot of working, like you do your section, you put it on and you basically wipe it off. Super user-friendly coating. It is one that has evolved. Yeah. So I'm saying this because I know you did not have a great experience with it when it first came out. So it is absolutely a coating that has evolved over the years. So if you used it 6 years ago, try it again. It's a totally different experience. So super user-friendly, super easy to use. I actually love it as far as a coating goes. It's the one that does not scratch in a car wash. It literally, it's one of the more durable ones that I've experienced. But there's just not a lot of flash with it. So you don't get a lot of like the candy coating look or feel or, any of that. And so maybe it's not one of the more exciting coatings, but as far as like durability and when you can count on it, it's actually a really, really good coating. So it's funny, the cars that come in that have an array of 10 other coatings on them. Yeah. When I have a customer that comes in for their maintenance or even just for a wash that has Inspiration Classic on it, I go to wash it and I'm like, oh, this is such a good coating. Yeah. So it's just a really, really solid coating. So I do use it all the time, just kind of unconventionally.
Cool. Next up here on the list, we've got somebody, I don't know, doesn't even have a name.
No name.
Digging rinseless washes right now. What's your best setup for rinseless wash? And which rinseless and microfiber or sponge? So Lucas, what's your rinseless wash setup looking like?
So I got my little rinseless bucket, and then I got a Multi-Pro 12 Plus that you can also pick up from the Rag Company. And then I typically use O&R diluted 250 6:1. Put that in my pump sprayer. Put a few gallons in my bucket, and then ultra safe sponge.
Nice. Love that. Cool. Sid, what about you?
Pretty much the same, but obviously I use Absolute. And so I actually use like a detail keg, which is similar to the IK sprayer. I just find that it's a little bit easier. So pre-wash with that, or I pre-spray with Epic. I kind of go back and forth depending on the vehicle. Pre-spray with either Absolute or Epic, and then same, just one bucket, 250 6:1 with the ultra safe sponge.
Nice. Okay. Cool. I'm pretty much Yeah, right, somewhere in the middle. I use like random sprayers. Like sometimes I commit to a multi-pro, 2. Sometimes I grab the Home Depot deck sprayer and I just use that, right? It's whatever I just have on hand, and it's whatever I have mixed up, because every time I mix up Rinseless, like I never end up using as much as I think I do. So same thing, throw my bucket together. As far as which Rinseless I'm using, changes all the time. I might throw in Absolute, I might throw in RRW, might throw in O&R, might throw in like the yellow O&R, right? The Opticoat O&R. Just whatever is like the easiest, fastest thing to grab usually is what I'll do. Or it just depends on what I want to smell, right, for that day. And then I'm using chenille mitts because I like chenille mitts for when I'm doing rinseless washing. Personally, that's just me. Next up, we've got Kevin says, we went from 55 this morning to 80 the afternoon. I feel your clothing struggle. Yeah. I want to be breathable, but I still want to be... Neil White says, I cannot see Anthony shopping. I can. You can?
Yeah,
Can you see
I feel
me?
like over the year, I mean, I've known you for a long time. I feel like over the years you've matured a lot, and I feel like we're moving from like the Old Navy vibes into Lululemon. Like I feel it.
I don't know.
I do.
I see
You're
you
correct about the Old Navy vibe. So I loved Old Navy, man. I still love Old Navy.
No, there's nothing wrong with Old Navy. There's absolutely nothing wrong. But yeah.
I mean, where else can you get like 5 pairs of shorts for like $60 or something like that? It's a great deal when you can find it. But I think the Lululemon side of things, I don't know. I don't know if it's just
go try them on.
I just need to try them on. If everything feels good in like the waist area, right? Yeah. And things feel good on the legs, and
it's all Mike wears, and he's built like you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And he loves wearing them.
That's all he wears.
All he wears.
And he wears the Lululemon like work slacks too, because he obviously works for the state, so he has to wear. I mean, he still has to wear like dress pants, but he wears the Lululemon ones because they feel like pajamas.
But you see what I mean about how there was the canvas joggers that were of like canvas short material that met that perfect middle ground of it's not jeans, right? But it's not and it's not
but
sweats.
The Lululemon ones though, they're gonna look like shiny and professional like work pants, but they're gonna feel but they're gonna feel like pajamas.
Like dry fit kind of feel.
Well, not shiny, but you know what I mean. Like they're gonna look tailored and nice and like a good material. They're not gonna look cheap. They're not gonna look like you're wearing pajamas.
Okay.
Like you got to try it.
I mean, here's the deal. My wife's out of town. My daughter's staying at her grandpa's tonight, right? Yeah. So I'm thinking, maybe it's just me on a personal
there you go.
Venture.
Just go check it out. Check it out. The only thing, other heads up I'll give you about Lululemon though is you don't size down. Doesn't mean you're gonna size up, but like you have to be honest with yourself. Like maybe it's a girl thing. Like we're always like, I wonder if I could fit in a small. Like stay true to your size. Like,
stay true. Okay.
Yeah.
But like, are they sold in like larges, XLs, or is it just like
it's regular sizes?
Just regular sizes.
Yeah. And maybe it's a girl thing. We always go like, I'm a medium, but maybe I can fit in a small. Like, don't do that.
Okay. No, I mean, I'm just gonna go for I don't want things to be tighter than they have to be. You know what I mean? I think it's in your guys' best benefit watching here on the show as well, right? You don't want things to too tight. Frankie says used KCX panel PW in the sun, not panel wipe, and left some dark spots on the paint. How would I fix it? Protector wax is leaving dark spots on the paint. How would I fix it? You could try to take a little bit more of the protector wax, go over that area again since there is a solvent, and you can see if it kind of fixes or corrects that. But I don't. Dark spots is I could see maybe some smears, maybe some streaks, but dark spots that's interesting. So I don't know. You can try to go back over it. I do it out of the sun, do it in the shade. I would try to box in that whole section, have multiple towels with you, and then try to see what happens after doing that. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen that. Next up here, we've got Joey says, Lululemon used to make the best boxer briefs like 10 years ago. I wore those things until they fell apart. I don't know if the quality is still the same.
Totally. Yeah.
Never worn their boxers.
Still the same? Yeah. I've never worn them.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Dude.
Well, that's like the next level. I mean, They're not cheap. Well, they're not cheap.
They're not cheap?
No, they're not cheap.
What are you guys doing for work nowadays? I mean, Mike, Joey over here. I'm like, what's up, dude?
There's a whole funny story how Mike gets Lululemon out of Delta Airlines, but that's for a whole different podcast. But yeah. That's how we know about the underwear.
Ire says, Ire enjoying another night at the castle here. Oysters and Guinness this evening, folks. That sounds amazing. Friday, tomorrow, TRC Live. Life is good. Ire, so I don't know if you guys know this. I'm a big oyster fan.
Really?
Right? I like, my mouth's watering now.
Oh
I
my
love
gosh.
raw oysters, right? Oh my gosh. But I can't even I can't swallow right now. But
a different reaction.
Welcome back to the second half of Q&A Thursday. I want to apologize really quick because we had a brief audio cutout there at the end of the first half where we may have to, we're going to kind of revisit a question again. Just a little glitch in the system, nothing to be afraid of. So we'll probably address that here first and foremost, but just a quick reminder for people that are joining us for the second half. If you're wondering where Dane and Levi are, Dane's on a plane. Dane on a plane. On the way somewhere here in the U.S. because he's going to be on his way over to Paris, right, where he will be enjoying the finest of French breads and all the views that the Eiffel Tower has to offer. I don't know, maybe not, but I do know he's going to be making his way over to Germany, where Levi currently is for Automechanika. They're not meeting up, they're not hanging out with each other, but all the best wishes to Dane and his Oktoberfest adventures. Now, Jay Hall had a question that Sydney's going to just kind of readdress really quick.
Yeah.
Sydney, when you do a wash clay seal, are you replacing Bead Maker with Defender as a topper?
Okay. So let's see if I can answer this the same as I did last
time.
Same way. So no. So you do not replace Defender. You use it as a topper. So you still want to use Bead Maker as your clay lube because Bead Maker has specific lubricants in it, whereas Defender doesn't. Bead Maker can be put on a wet car. Defender needs to be put on a dry car. So in the same way that we use Defender to top a coating, Bead Maker has a cure point, right? And so what happens is you put the Bead Maker on the car and it's bonding with the paint, but it hasn't cured yet. So as long as you put the Defender on top, within 30 to 90 minutes, you're going to get that, what we call the soak. And so the Defender is going to soak into the Bead Maker before it's fully cured. And then the two are going to cure together and they're almost going to lock together and become an even stronger protection layer. And so you're going to get all the benefits of Bead Maker with that deep glow that we always love, that kind of gives us that carnauba wax feel. But then you're going to get the SiO2 and the protection and the extreme slickness and water behavior from Defender. So it's a great process. I do this on every single car. I love it, but you definitely do not want to use Defender as your clay lube. We've tested it and you will get micro marring. There's just not the right lubricants in Defender. So, absolutely, as a topper, it's a great process. Love it.
Cool. Right, with audio this time, right? So now it's not just mouse moving. Greg says, can you give the best practice process to take before you apply Swift? Actually, Lucas, you've Swifted it up a few times.
Are you a Swiftie?
I've done a little bit of Swifting here.
We call him a Swiftie here in the office, right? Whether he's listening to T-Swift or actually laying down some Swift. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to offend you.
We're talking PNS
No.
Swift.
So usually I'll use that as a maintenance product for the cars that I've already dressed the interiors or ones that I'm regularly going to be seeing. So I'd say if I'm doing a light dressing or because I'm just not a huge fan of a super shiny dressed look on interiors, but Swift is a little bit more of a satin finish to me. So for customers that prefer that, I'll typically just go over at the end. So I'll clean the car with Express or Cockpit, and then I'll just take a couple sprays into a Edgeless 300 or a Pearl Rip and Rag XL. Take a couple sprays of Swift into there and just kind of go over, wipe everything down, and then if you need to, you can follow up with a second towel to kind of wipe it off. But in my experience, Swift kind of kind of wipes off pretty easy on that first wipe. So yeah,
cool. Right on. Sydney, anything different?
The only thing I would add to that is, because I pretty much do the same, I think Swift is such a versatile product. Actually, you can use it as just the maintenance product, what it was developed for. So it kind of half cleans, half protects, right? But I do find myself that there's a lot of cars where if I don't want a heavy dressing, I will use Swift, even though I've already cleaned it with Express like normal. You can absolutely use it as a dressing, and it's just kind of a light, UV protectant. Goes on great. A lot of the materials we have now, especially like in all these EVs and stuff, you really can't use a protectant or it makes a holy mess. And so Swift is a great option for those. The other thing is that if you have a maintenance customer, maintenance car, there's nothing that says you can't clean part of it with Express and then do the rest with Swift. So a lot of times what I'll do is if like the center console is dirty, I'll still use Express and a brush and I'll pre-clean just the center console and then I go through the whole car with Swift. So I love that it's, super versatile. You can clean before or you don't have to. You can still use Swift with a brush if you have like a dirtier area. So it's actually pretty versatile. I also love Swift on floor mats.
Yeah.
So rubber floor mats. It's not enough to make it slippery, but makes them black again.
Okay. I was about to say, I've never used it on floor mats, but I kind of want to add on to that. So it's being that it does have a little bit of cleaning power, especially for just like regular maintenance, like light dusting, you can just use that as your cleaner your maintenance topper. It's totally. Just, I typically find that most of the cars I'm doing cannot be cleaned with just Swift. So
yeah.
Cool. All right, next up here, we've got Too Fresh says, the oil's about a week old. It's dark gray carpet. Do you recommend a degreaser? Yeah, I probably would recommend a degreaser. I would probably, try a couple different options, right? There's, you can try, Green Star. You can try Carpet Bomber. Carpet Bomber does have degreasing properties to it. Man, I'm trying to think of just, it's not so much, it's going to be the smell is what I'm also trying to think of is, okay, you're not going to probably get maybe the full stain out on a carpet that's that old, and especially it's a dark, gray, maybe in there. The smell is going to be another thing you might have to tackle because that can stick around as well. You might, we actually talked about this, was it not even last week or 2 weeks ago, and Levi, we had a very similar question. I can't remember what Levi said that he would have sprayed over the top. That wasn't Terminator. I can't remember what he said it was. I can't remember.
But I think that's why I would do, honestly, if you have time, I would do baking soda. I would sprinkle baking soda on there, leave it 24 hours, because not only is it going to absorb a lot of the odor from, because I tell people it's same with gasoline spills. So it's going to absorb a lot of that, and then you just vacuum it up, right? So you're not going to spray the chemicals over the baking soda, like vacuum it up. But I would try to leave it there for 24 hours. And that's going to help a lot with the smell and hopefully suck up as much of that grease.
You can do the baking. You can repeat as needed. Baking soda's not going to hurt anything. So you just keep doing that over and over again and see what happens. So, try that. That'd be actually a good place to start. And then go from there. Ira says it's pronounced air. Dang it. Air, sorry. Heir to the throne. Is that what it is? Heir to the throne in your castle. Is that why you're having me say this? Sir Anthony, don't worry, no hard feelings, my old pal. The castle drawbridge remains open to use, and the red carpet on the floor waits you. Thank you, Heir. I appreciate it. I cannot wait to ride my horse, right, very far to distant lands. I don't know how I'm going to make it across the water, but I'm sure I'll figure out a way to Game of Thrones it, in one way, shape, or form, right? Maybe by dragon. Next up, we've got Joey says, I polished so much piano black with rehab and orange pad. Awesome results in one step. Agreed.
Still haven't tried rehab yet.
Oh my goodness.
What? You haven't?
My fault.
Man, we gotta get you out there.
It's a party. Not only does it smell fantastic, but it works great. God, you can work it for forever. It's like never ending. It's really
like
good.
Life-changing, yeah.
Maybe
it's a really good product.
Really great.
Super Auto says, have any of you three used CarPro Essence Plus?
I have not.
I haven't, man. I have not used CarPro Essence Plus personally. Next up, we've got Ron says, I detailed and abused 2009 Honda Accord, washed with Frostbite and Pearl, crystal wash and Iron Buster for decon, PNS rehab, and it brought the shine back.
Awesome.
Ron, nice, good combo there. Looks
Great
like
combo,
you didn't miss any stops. There you go. Oh my gosh.
Heck yeah.
Lucas, what's Master Shine saying?
Master of Shine saying, made it safe to the gas station. Ice cream bars and soda secured.
Nice, Levi.
Now he's
Did you get
gotta
Pepsi at this one?
I mean, I'm hoping he got Pepsi, but some German ice cream bars do sound delicious. Share with everybody. David, Lucas, do you think you would ever buy the... Okay, that's a good question. Do you think you would ever buy the Ego cordless power washer? Why or why not? And the second question for SBG.
You know, I've been debating this a lot. I don't think so. And speaking of Ego, though, I did just purchase my first blower yesterday.
Did you? Congratulations. Which blower did you get?
Got the 615.
615, you dog.
It's pretty good. I like it.
All right.
But as far as the pressure washer, I can definitely see the advantages for it. And I was really, really interested when I first saw them, come out with like the first few videos and whatnot. For me, I'm kind of moving away from... If I was doing more mobile, I could definitely see the advantage of it. But I'm kind of moving more away from mobile. So I kind of just... I don't really see the Ego pressure washer specifically having like a good at-home setup, if that makes sense. Like I really like the idea of pressure washing with Rinseless, stuff like that, but for what I'm doing and the direction I'm trying to go, it just doesn't really make sense for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I would purchase it because just for a couple different things, and I like to have like needless things around my house, but for instance, I did a boat this week and generally speaking, I don't need to pressure wash boats, but it is nice when you can. And my pressure washer, I only have a 50-foot hose, and my pressure washer is mounted at the edge of my garage, so I could pressure wash one side of the boat, but not the other. So I probably do 6 or 7 boats a year. So I think for boats, it would be really nice to be able to take it out, to the front of my house and be able to pressure wash something. I also think it would be nice because my pressure washer, because, now we have to have all these cool pressure washer built-ins, right? So now my pressure washer is not portable like my Karcher Cube was.
Yeah.
I used to be able to roll my Karcher Cube into the back patio and clean my furniture. Well, now I have
It's not cool to do that anymore, Sydney.
No.
Unless your pressure washer's on a shelf, right? It's not cool.
Yeah, unless it's on a stainless steel shelf with everything perfectly
attached to it. Yeah.
And so now I don't have a pressure washer for the back of my house. And so I would use the Ego one. And the reason that I would say I would is because I literally have 15 Ego batteries. So like I'm
15 Ego. That's like retirement in Ego batteries.
I have so much Ego stuff, and I'm a big fan of Ego. So because of how many batteries I have, I would actually buy the cordless power washer. Cool. Okay. I would rarely use it, but I would totally buy it and use it when I needed it.
No, I dig that.
I guess that's another thing too, is I would have to buy batteries with it.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, I have like 16 chargers and like 18 I mean, like it's like I have the snowblower, I have everything. So because of that, I would buy it because I think it's great.
Okay. Yeah. Cool deal. Cool. No, I dig that. Okay. Barney 13 says, what pH neutral car shampoo for weekly washes do you guys recommend?
I still got a bottle of some GFX.
That's close to pH neutral. Yeah, I think it's an 8, right? Or something, somewhere around there.
Okay. GSF is my go-to.
Okay, I'll call it good. Sid, what do you like?
I mean, I obviously mainly use Rinseless, but I think Pearl is still just such a solid,
affordable,
solid. I mean, I know that, all my answers are PNS, but I mean.
You like it. You like what you like. You've been using Pearl since the early days.
Pearl's just
probably the most affordable soap too.
Yeah, and it's just solid. I mean, it's such a great pH neutral soap, and it's so good. So yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I use a little bit of everything, but I mean, I think right now on the I can't call it the chopping block, but I think it's just things I have to blow through products, Sydney. I have to literally purposely try to blow through product. I can't give it away. I try to give it away. Right. Nobody wants wants my stuff, right? Yeah. Nobody wants Anthony from the rag company's stuff. Hurts my soul because it's all family members, and they go, "Why can't you just wash our car? Why do I have to give you? Why have to get? Why we don't want this stuff? We just want you to be able to do it." So, my neighbors don't want it, right? I've already given them a bunch of crap that they don't want. But I think right now, I actually had a bottle of Semper from Labos Cosmetica that I wanted to blow through, so I'm blowing through that right now currently, and I like that soap. I think it's good. I think it smells really good. It's very, it's a very cologne-y, like like I like. But once I probably get through that bottle, I'm probably gonna get back to. I have a 5 liter of Mata out there from Sternogloss, right? pH neutral, easy to use, smells great. I'm gonna take that 5 liters because I think a liter is missing. I think I'm going to dump in a whole thing of snow. So I have my coconut earth scent ready to rock and roll in my 5 liter. You like that?
I like that.
You know what I mean, right? Like you sacrifice a liter of Mata, you give it to a friend or whatever it is, right? And you say, okay, cool. Take a whole thing of snow, shove it in there, mix up that coconut earth scent, and just like have at it. Live your life. You know what I mean?
Time.
It's good.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That is the only thing that would make Pearl better is if it smelled better.
Agreed.
Right? Because there's virtually
It's kind of like
no
a
smell.
lemony scent, isn't it?
It's just a
Kind of like it's kind of nothing. I mean, I don't smell it,
I get just a lemony.
Yeah.
but it would be fun if
standard
it had
lemon, like not like a fun, like not like a.
Yeah.
You know Myers, like the cleaning company.
Yeah.
Like their scents are amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you smelled? They have this. It was a limited edition. I think it was for summer. This last summer, I think it was like Meyer lemon or some type of lemon-ish scent.
Yeah.
It's the best lemon scent
Those are some good scents.
I have ever smelled in my life, and I don't even know. And I don't even like. I like lemon a little bit, but not like it's just lemon, right?
Yeah.
This Myers lemon scent. I was like, what did you?
Yeah.
What kind of wizardry did you make?
Yeah.
But I want their scent. I want to meet their scent person someday.
I know, because they have lilac too, which you would never think that like lilac smell good, but their French lilac is like off.
I want to shake that. I want to take that person out to dinner. I want to take that person on a transactional dinner to barbacoa.
Actually, you know what? We should send them to dinner with Dave.
Today, right?
That's what we need to do. Yeah, you guys talk. You figure
it would be a blind date. Like it'd be we'd set Dave Phillips, right, and this Myers scent person, right, on a blind date.
Yeah.
And they'd set up, and I'd be like, all right, well, bring a gift for each other, and then like halfway through, I just want to come and make the tableside guac and just make sure things are going well for them, right?
Some Portuguese beans.
I just want to show up and be like, hey, just checking on you guys, making sure we're getting somewhere with future scent ideas, and they're gonna be like, go away, we're bonding, and I go, well, just saying.
That'd be great.
Kevin says, in the past, inquiring minds have wondered how Lucas gets his hair so tall. Maybe we can cover that while he's here and settle the curiosity.
I feel like, did you get a haircut? I feel like it's not as tall as it used to be.
I did get a haircut this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I do think a blow dryer is involved. Am I wrong, Lucas?
A blow dryer is involved.
Yes.
That is the key.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Okay, cool. Next up here, we've got... Aaron says Lululemon have workers there to help you out. Yep. There's also something called fitting rooms. So I am not like going into this like, oh, I don't know how to shop at a Lululemon. It's not that. It's more so like, if I'm gonna go, like I'm one of those guys where I'm gonna buy something. I don't want to return it. I don't want to have to think about that stuff. So if I'm going in there, I want to make sure I'm buying the right thing. Yeah. Trying on the right thing, and I also kind of have a little bit of that like clothes shopping anxiety that some people may have experienced, where it's just you're there and you just feel uncomfortable shopping for clothes for myself because I'm just not very I'm just not that good at it, right? It's not like it's not something I enjoy doing. So I get there and I go, okay, can't we just buy this stuff and then get out of here, right? But I want to make sure if I'm there,
I think you need to try it on.
And right?
Maybe you should start with just one pair of pants.
Just one pair of pants. Go in, say you need the performance joggers and you want to try them on. You're going to tell them your name is Anthony. They're going to write it on the board next to the fitting room.
Sydney, the way that you said, you looked at me and you go, I think you need to try it on. I got a flash of back of my mother, right? Like I felt like I was a child again.
Yeah,
at the store, and now and now I know why I feel uncomfortable shopping for clothes, or I feel like I need to get out of there because like
life is a circle.
It came back to me that my mom's like, I think you need to try it on. Mom, I don't want to try it on. I think you need to try it on. Anthony, I'm not going to buy this for you unless you try it on. Mom, I don't want to try it on right now because chances are there's probably like a cute girl in the store that I was like, I saw in the distance. I'm like, well, Mom, I don't want to do that right now. Like, don't talk to me. And she's like, Anthony, try on the shirt, and it's on clearance. It's like half off. And I'm like, shh, quiet, Mom. Like, stop! You're embarrassing me in front of everybody, right?
And then you got to do the strut out of the dressing room.
Yeah, right.
Spin in front of your mom.
No, or it's like if I'm buying a pair of shoes that she wants to get me that I don't like, right? And I'm like, I don't like them. She's like, just put them on, right? I put them on. I'm like scrunching at my toes so like they're not the right size, and then she's like, you're scrunching up your toes, or you're making it to where like I'm like, because I don't want these dang shoes. But I got a flashback the way you said, I think you need to try it on.
So true story. I was just at Lululemon last night. I took Tristan, right?
Yeah.
Because his girlfriend was busy, so I had to take him to the mall, and I took him to Lululemon, and I said, "We're buying you a sweatshirt because you need like the pullover. It's not a sweatshirt, but it's not Okay. So I said, we're going to try this on. And so he's standing there and he goes, what do I do? And I said, just put it on right here. Yeah. So like I made him try it on right in the middle of Lululemon.
Man, yeah.
And then
what
was so funny is literally a girl from his class walked up right behind us, and he literally could have killed me.
Yeah, no,
could have killed me.
That's like a real thing. Like that's like straight up like
that's a real fear.
That's a real fear, man.
But I said, Tristan, this is $148 sweatshirt. You're trying it on.
I know, but you're kind of like, well, Mom, like I don't want to, like because like like me, whenever I like put things on the store, like especially if it's a sweatshirt, I go to take it off, my shirt's coming off with me. You know what I mean? And my mom's just the one standing there, like nobody cares. I'm like, I know nobody cares, but chances are my high school crush or whatever it is gonna come around the corner and it's gonna be like, oh hey, I'm like, oh hey, this is my mom, how's it going?
You know what though? Like Mike makes it fun. He gives them like a fake name.
Really?
Yeah.
He tells the kids that his name is different, or what does he say?
He tells them a different name.
That's
funny. Write down a different name on the whiteboard.
And then he like forgets that he's trying stuff on. He's like,
that's
funny.
That's hilarious.
Just give him a different name. Tell him your name's Tony.
Thought about that yet.
I know you're all day Anthony.
Never thought about that. That's definitely not true. So I don't know what I would say. Okay, all right. Yeah. No, okay. I'll think about these things.
So Mike's name is Magnus. So when he goes, it's Magnus.
That's like such a far stretch of like what's even kind of acceptable as a first.
That's why he gets over the embarrassment real fast.
Magnus. Yeah. Yeah, you can just hang it over the.
Okay, seriously, you need to go tonight by yourself and give this a whirl.
But I'm going to like the Village, right? Where it's like the pop. I would be going to the Pop-In Place because the mall. It's closer to me going to the Village than it is going to the mall.
The mall one's bigger now. They have a new one in the mall that's
like
really
a
big.
Store now.
It's really big. Yeah, it's really
it's really big.
But you can go to the Village. That's fine.
I don't know. I'm nervous about the whole thing, right? My wife's not going to be there. I feel like I'm going to be. I'm gonna get something.
I think it's better for you to do it on your own.
You have to.
Yeah, I think it's better.
Is it?
Yes, because then the next time when you go back for the second pair, then she's gonna be with you, and you're gonna be like, "No, I got this.
Yeah. And I just want to walk in assertively. Yeah. Go exactly. Exactly where I'm going.
You are of age. Yeah,
I am of age to shop at Lululemon, and I am of that tax bracket, right? I do belong there, and walk in and
own it. Yeah.
Grab $100 pants. All right, moving on.
Your life will never be the same.
Okay, all right. We'll see if I'm next week if Anthony's wearing Lululemon leggings, pant things on this.
Performance joggers.
Air says I'm a weekend warrior, folks, and using the DeWalt D8. It's a beast. Maybe not for the pros, but I find it brilliant. I mean. Listen, whatever you choose to use in your castle, Air, I mean, like that's up to you, man. I'm just happy that you have that kind of power there. Well, is it one? It's like 110, 110 volt.
You could probably slay a dragon with the DeWalt.
Yeah, probably
could. Next up, we've got Great Dane says the lesser known Scandinavian Sam Jackson film Danes on a Plane. Yeah.
Nice. Danes on a Plane.
Dane. Stop. Don't mind me just waiting to board down in Salt Lake City. Okay, cool. Dane, enjoy. Lucas.
Great Dane Films. Are you smuggling chicken fried steak onto the plane for the long flight?
You might get some Raising Cane's at the airport if they have that there. I don't know.
I love Cane's.
I've never been.
Cane's is
never
so
been
good.
to one.
Never been.
It's great.
Mike Reyes, is it okay to put Bead Maker as a topper on Guion Mos Evo ceramic? Curious if it allows the ceramic to last longer or will diminish ceramic properties when Bead Maker wears off. There should be no diminishing of the Bead Maker would add to really any ceramic, right?
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna.
Putting on. We've put it on anything and everything.
Yeah,
and
it's just putting on a sacrificial layer.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't overthink it. Mm-hmm. Next up here, we've got Kevin says, Air, so you happen to have a dragon protecting your camp. He does have a dragon. And Super Auto, speaking of rehab, release of the small bottles still in limbo.
No, they're coming. Yeah, they're coming. I think we are just waiting on the labels to actually arrive, and then we will let our distributors know. So I would say 2, max 3 weeks till these hit the floor, yeah.
Cool.
Yep, 8-ounce bottles of rehab, but they are on their way.
Oh, 8-ounce bottles.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep.
Okay. Next up, Air says, yes, so oysters and Guinness. Yeah. Laughing, smiley. Maybe he's drinking the Guinness to try to kill the bacteria that the oysters could possibly be having. Mix those two together. And I might make a sequel in the castle, The Game of Towels. I hope that you do. And I'm hoping that eventually when we make our trip out to Ireland that you do in fact live in a castle. If you don't, we'll be extremely disappointed. We'll better rent one. Yeah. Kevin says, great, thanks, Sydney. As I am in the process of finally getting my wall-mounted pressure washer set up done, now you have me thinking if that's the way I want to go, LOL. Is this about the Ego
if this
pressure
is about
washer?
the Ego, I still highly recommend having a real pressure washer.
Are we caught up? Are we pretty caught up on comments? Can you let me know give me a thumbs up or something? Oh, we are pretty caught up. Okay, we're good on. Okay, so I just didn't know how relevant things are. Speaking of pressure washers,
you just picked one up, didn't you?
I just purchased a pressure washer.
Heck yeah,
I did. I stepped in the big leagues, my friends. I don't know how else to say this, but I happened to score a Facebook Marketplace deal, and we're not gonna talk about the price here, but I will say it was a very good deal on a Rinseless 1622 TS, and I'm extremely excited. So I actually got that out there. We just got done doing some detailing on that. I cleaned that thing up and got it looking brand spankly new, and which means I will be saying goodbye to my Karcher Cube, my 1700. It's treated me so well.
I think you should keep it though. I do.
Just keep it
Sydney, I have too much crap. I have too much stuff. It's got to go.
Don't you have a shed?
I do have a shed, but like I have a 50-foot hose. I just don't know what I'm gonna do with it. And they're so cheap. Like,
so I threw mine away, and I'm so sad about it now. I had to borrow Gabe's when my real pressure
put it in your
washer
attic
broke.
or something.
Yeah, put it up there with the people. I just feel like it's one of those things. They're so dependable.
They are,
and there's so many memories built with the Karcher Cubes that I just am telling you, I regret getting rid of mine.
Really?
Yeah, every day. And I had the teal one.
I know, yeah.
I regret every day.
Yeah.
I threw it away and it still worked perfectly.
I just don't. What did you replace it with? What do you have right now?
The Active 2.0.
Yeah, the Active 2.0.
I'm on number 2.
Oh, you're on number. Yeah, well, most people are.
Yeah, well, the first one started on fire.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was the problem with the Actives, right? Great little machines, but gosh, yeah, there is some little some pump issues that those had.
See, the Ryobi 1.2 GPM could never happen to that thing.
Yeah, I don't think it much can. But I'm now stepping into the big leagues, right? So I'm really excited. It's just going to be it's a 1.7 GPM. It's almost 1700 psi, whatever it is. I chose to. Well, I didn't choose. I mean, the Facebook Marketplace deal was too good. But the reason why is that it has a lower GPM, which means I'm going to be blowing through less of my CR spotless filters, right?
Yeah.
Even though I have a higher PSI. So regardless, it's still going to be a big upgrade. I'm excited for it, and I will say this. We didn't include this in the video, but when we took our old 1322 pressure washer out of the wash bay, the one that we've had in there for like 5 years, right? That thing had water mixing with the oil, right? Because some of the seals went bad. We never changed the oil on it. Actually had a massive oil leak, right? Didn't even touch it. Didn't even mess with anything. We had, I don't know what else. I think multiple seals were blown on that thing. For 5 years, we've ran that 4 years, we've ran that thing harder than anything we've ever, like, we put that thing through hell and back. We've left it on. We've used it to pressure wash floors. We've used it to, we've used it, like, we abused that thing beyond comprehension. And
it lived its life.
It lived a full life. And by the time we pulled it out and checked everything, we actually broke down and looked to open up the motor and everything when Tommy was here from Obsessed Garage. Thing was like brand new.
Wow.
It was like it's truly like the Porsche of pressure washers. I mean, they're really built to last, and so that's why getting this one, I go, okay, hopefully it's the last pressure washer I'll ever need. But with that said, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with the Karcher. I don't know. I don't want to store any more crap.
Do you pressure wash your back patio? Because this is my issue.
Not really. We just spray it off with a hose.
Oh, okay. See, we've got a lot of stuff back there. I need a pressure washer.
It's we spray it off with a hose, and that's it. So that's why I don't know if I need to keep it. And if I did need to get a pressure washer again, I would just I don't know.
Make your pitch. Maybe somebody needs a Karcher Cube.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Give it away, man. Those things are gonna last forever.
Signed, yeah, and that
Karcher Cube.
I know they're good. They're good machines. Mine's like plastic dipped like gray. It's got like a sticker on it. And I don't know. I'm gonna try. I'll see if my friend Jason wants it. If not, then he doesn't want it. Then I may store it. Mm-hmm. We'll see. Next up, the hot pressure washer talk. Lucas, Idaho Afro is the bomb.
Appreciate you, David.
Mm-hmm. And thank you, David. And Kevin says, speaking of scents in the OG, leather and pine auto fragrance is great. That would make a good smelling. So I've never smelled it.
Leather and pine.
Leather and pine.
Interesting.
Okay. I can imagine that would be pretty good. And then Lululemon pants and Dixon shirts and the new TRC uniforms.
I don't think that goes together, though.
So you have to understand that, like, who I work with here. So Cindy, you've done a pretty good job of selling me on the Lululemon pants. Mm-hmm. I probably will go get some.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should.
Who you're not going to sell? You won't be able to sell Levi on it.
Right? No. Yeah, no.
It's impossible. Mm-hmm. Dane, you can't sell on it. It's impossible because now if those pants were now sold at Costco, your chances have increased by like 60-70%, right?
Yeah.
But since they're not sold at Costco and because of the price point, I just don't see it happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dane, I know you're in the comments.
I can get Gabe though.
I think you can get Gabe, but I think Gabe would be very frugal about that pair of he'd get the most out of that pair of pants.
I would never use the word frugal to describe Gabe.
Gabe can be very frugal. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I've only seen his garage and his cars.
So though that side of life for him is not frugal, right? That man eats soup for lunch every single day, right? And I say, do you ever want to like mix it up and maybe like a sandwich or anything like that?
No, I got cabinets to save it.
No, you got cabinets to save it for. So he eats a lot of soups, bean soups and things like that. I think he just adds water to cans and just eats those. So. Air says no man can be comfortable with anything called Lululemon.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Apparently, it sounds like you can be.
Yeah. You are straight up missing out.
Too Close to Retirement says, does PNS sell a water spot remover still? I've seen references to this Pro Series water spot remover, but cannot find it on the site to buy.
Yeah, so they do. It's kind of a funny product. So the PNS water spot remover is very, very good. It's very, very strong, and we can't ship it. So that's the issue. So we can ship it to distributors. So if you can find it at your local distributor, you'll be able to find it, but we don't have it on our website. The rag company doesn't have it because it can't be shipped. And so it is very good if you can find it. However, I will say, and I don't think it's giving away anything too serious, but we are working on it.
Cool.
To get it to where it can be shipped. So
cool. I like that. Sounds good.
Is it just like the formula that can't be shipped? Or?
Yeah, it's like the VOC compliance. Gotcha. Yeah.
Alex says Lulu's going to be rocking a Lulu crossbody.
Oh, no, I'm going to draw the line on that one.
What's a crossbody?
No, it's like the man purse. You're not doing it.
Or like a...
Shane, our fellow employee Shane, or fellow coworker Shane, wears a
fanny pack.
But it's probably not a Lululemon one.
I don't know what brand it is, but he wears a bag.
That's fine. It's fine to wear a bag, but you don't need a Lululemon one.
Okay, so that's where you draw the line.
That's where I'm drawing the line on that. If you want to go like Kavu or whatever, fine.
You don't want him to have a big old fanny pack
North
going
Face,
across his shoulder?
Yeah.
I mean, not like the belt bag, no.
Not a belt bag. Okay.
No belt bag for Anthony.
Okay, all right. Ron says, Sydney, how's Delaney doing?
She's doing really good. She is not sure if the college life is for her. She feels like she's too mature for these kids that go to college. But otherwise, she's doing great. She's doing great in her classes. She loves living in her apartment. She's miserable without a garage. So that's mainly what I hear about. But she's doing good. I think she's just excited to be an adult. So I think this in-between phase is not what she thought it was going to be. But, I mean, she loves school. She loves all of that. But she doesn't she tried to go to a frat party last week, and that was not her cup of tea.
I love that she tells you that stuff, man.
She tells us everything.
I don't think I don't think I could have told my parents going to a frat party or whatever. I don't think I could have told them that.
She told us everything.
My parents knew I did stuff. I didn't know, but I didn't. Yeah, I wasn't that open. So that's
I can't talk about stuff till like a couple years later. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You gotta
she tells us simmer. Like the next day. Yeah. So, but she's doing well. She's still working. So she I think she's ready to start working more, and so she's back in it. But yeah, she's doing really good. Thanks for asking.
JSB says, Sydney, how much coverage would you recommend getting for garage keepers insurance?
I think you have to think about like what you're doing. So for me, I'm only doing one car a day. So I don't have multiple cars on site. So I sat down with my insurance agent and, we talked about, do I take wheels off? Do I take seats out? Which he said, don't do that, but if you do need to do it, then you need to make sure you're covered. And so we talked about my business model. Like I only have one car a day. I don't have multiple cars at my location. Basically you want enough to cover whatever's the worst possible thing that could happen. So do you have a boat at your home or shop? Do you have, 5 cars? What's the typical value of the cars that you're seeing? And you need to make sure that all of that is covered. Mm-hmm. So for me, it was 1 car a day. What was I doing to it? How major do I go? Which was not very much. And so I don't remember the limits on mine, but I did higher than I would have thought I needed. The one thing that I did do though, which nowadays in 2024, I may need to change this, but I got the additional rider for Garage Keepers where it covered me driving the vehicles. Mm-hmm. So that is something important to know, is that Garage Keepers, it does not cover you for backing the car in and out. Yeah. And for me, there's a lot of vehicles that I go pick up from the customers' homes or place of business. And so I got an additional rider to cover that car at 100% loss should something happen. And so mine currently is only $100,000, and I probably need to bump that up now because 6 years ago, the last time I kind of looked at it, very rarely was I driving a car that at 100% loss would be $100,000. Now it's all the time. It's like a Ford F-250, honestly. So now I probably need to bump it up because now like an average car, a very basic average car, an Escalade or like I said, F-250 at $350 could straight off the lot exceed $100,000. So that's the one that I paid more attention to, was the total loss. And then my Garage Keepers, I just exceeded whatever the worst case scenario. But I didn't have to go as crazy because I only have 1 car a day.
Okay, cool. No, good information. Next up here, we've got David says, Will Ferrell, firstborn son, he named Magnus.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious, man. Maybe that'll be my name at Lululemon. My name's Magnus.
It's his Lululemon name and his Starbucks name.
Nice. Hans, God. And Starbucks? Yeah. Back to back? Is that
you print the name on your cup? He wants it to say
What's
Magnus.
Your name? Magnus.
Yeah.
That's wild. All right. So Hans says, don't mess with dragons. Don't ask me how I know. This says the man with the dragon tattoo, Hans Close, and we still don't know where that dragon tattoo is located on his body, and I don't know if we need to. Next up, we've got another question. From Anna says, what would be the step-by-step process to wash and coat a toolbox? Anna, is this a toolbox in the back of a truck, or is this a toolbox like a toolbox?
Like a snap-on toolbox.
Yeah. Let us know. Next question. We've got Air says, my friend in Reflect Auto Care have dealings with Sydney and told me she's a lovely human being. She is a lovely human being. Can't confirm.
So nice. I can't confirm.
Josh says, who had the idea for an 8-ounce rehab?
Oh man, a lot of people asked for it. So if this is in relation to why did we not do a 16, it's because we have the quart. And a 16 ounce, if you've used like Clarity Cream, that's a 16 ounce bottle with compound in it. It's still not, when you're working on an entire car, it's still not super user friendly. So we thought, a lot of people use like what are they called? Detailer helper's belts or something like that. And for me, I like an 8-ounce bottle because I don't mind refilling it, but I want something that's easy, to get the product out. Yeah. And you don't want to be picking up a heavy bottle and like shaking it and like, having to do the whole Heinz ketchup situation. Yeah. And so the 8-ounce, we just felt like it was a different enough size from the quart, whereas a 16-ounce isn't as different of enough. So it made more sense to do 8-ounce versus 16 on that. So
yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Having something that's a little more handy.
Yeah, it's just a lot easier. Yeah, it's a lot easier to use. Yeah.
Okay. João says, props from Portugal. My favorite people. Finger red number. Finger red number 1. I think it's an emoji.
Emoji. Yeah.
It was supposed to be an emoji. Okay, what's going on, man?
I like it.
Hello, greetings. Thanks for joining us. And Josh says, Active 2.0 is the average wash per warranty. Man.
So if anybody needs to know how to get an Active 2.0 replaced super fast, you just send a video of it on fire.
Yeah.
They don't even ask any questions. They just shit you.
Yeah. Can you share that video with the people?
Yeah,
right?
It was pretty funny because, Gabe and I's broke a couple months apart, and he had like a whole nightmare getting his replaced.
Yeah.
And all I had to do was send in the video, and they were like, "You'll have a new one on your doorstep."
We also have some fire editors that could pull
They probably thought that I'd never talk about it too, but whatever.
No way. Yeah. Joey says, I've had 0 issues with my Active 2.0 in the last year. Of course, it's going to start smoking now that I've said that, but it's been a champ. And so...
They are great. I love mine.
I did find out, though, when Matt was here, when we were talking, that he thinks that some of the people's issues with the Actives has actually been due to orifice size of their exit on their pressure washer, spray gun, or lance.
I can see that.
Because it's overworking that motor for what it is. And so, for example, like I think he had said, I think if I remember this correctly, that on an Active 2.0, the correct orifice size for your spray nozzle needs to be like a 4.5 or something like that.
You know what made mine start on fire, honest to God, so this totally makes sense, is one of those floor circle discs. I was cleaning my Swisstrax, and those little holes are little. And I used that, and that's what made it start on fire. But up to that point, it had worked just fine.
Yeah.
So I was running that thing for like 45 minutes. But then the last time I cleaned my Swisstrax with the new Active 2.0, I was just using my regular nozzle, and we ran it for like 2 hours, no problem.
Yeah.
So that actually makes sense because that's when it started on fire.
The pump's just overworking
he said, he said there's a certain thing with the pump where chances are it's probably overworking. So there's a correct orifice size for that particular pressure washer, but like you can get away with a 3.5 or a 4.0, whatever it is. But I think he said a 4.5 to a 5 is like actually the sweet spot for that pressure washer.
I believe it.
Because the GPM is already so fantastic on it. It's more so just the how do you keep the heat down? How do you keep that motor from overworking itself?
Yeah.
And but to your point though, like on the Karcher Cube though, I have one of those floor cleaners things as well, right?
All the time.
Dude, that thing's champ on the floor cleaners. Maybe before I get rid of it, maybe I do one more floor cleaning.
Maybe I'll take your Karcher Cube so that I can clean my floor.
Right? Maybe that's what it is. It's your new floor cleaning.
Yeah.
Because that would truly suck. And like literally, like I'm thinking right now, I'm like, okay, because I like to do that floor cleaning with the the spinning thing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, gosh, I don't want to put my Krenzel. I don't want to put a Krenzel at risk of that kind of job if something like that could happen. So I don't know what the right answer is. But yeah, anyways, Kevin says, congrats on getting a big boy pressure washer. I love my AR 630. Nice. ARs are awesome as well. It's another really good pressure washer. That's sweet. Exodus FX says, non-detailing chores are what stop us from going to wall mounted. It's just too good to have around the house, blasting out the rain gutters. It's true. I mean, that's Sydney's got a really good point about having it for so many other things, because pressure washers, they're awesome for cleaning up. My daughter's going through her chalk phase right now, on the back patio, and for the most part we can rinse everything off, but I know what you mean by like having certain things that you can spray off. And
that's why I like the idea though of like the Comet pressure washer, because you have the option to just take it straight off a wall mount.
Yes, I know what you're saying. Yeah, that is true as well. Yeah, I don't know. The wall mount, though.
I kind of like the chore. I kind of like the idea of the chore pressure washer and then like the pretty one for the good stuff.
Yeah, it's like the chore pressure washer is like beat up, kind of sad looking.
Yeah.
Probably has a few leaks, but it gets the job done. It just works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like
so.
It's got like an old leaky hose still.
Yeah. It's a satchel. Super auto.
Okay. It's a man purse.
Yeah, it's a man purse. It's a merce. Joey says, I tried to hide my first tattoo from my parents for weeks. They ended up telling me they knew the whole time. That's too funny. Yeah. I don't have any tattoos yet, Joey, so I haven't had anything to hide, but I'm sure my mom would be
That was very different. It was different for me. My dad, I was texting while it was happening. My mom had to hide that one.
Yeah.
Delaney texted the whole family group chat and said, where do I go for a same day tattattoo? And we were like, no, you don't. You don't.
Same day.
She still did, but it turned out really good.
My mom, the only thing I did, I think that I didn't tell her about, was when I bought my motorcycle. When I went out and got my street bike, and I remember I bought it, rode it to the house, and I was like, oh man, she's gonna be so upset.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, can't believe you waited till you were 25. I thought you were gonna get one when you were like 21 or 20.
I was gonna say,
and I was like, what? And she goes, Anthony, you love motorcycles. She goes, I'm surprised. She's like, I don't want you to get a motorcycle. I'm worried about you, but she's like, I'm surprised that you waited this long. And so, anyways, Jow says, saw the wash, clay, and seal on one of City's videos, and it's awesome. Kudos.
Thank you. Can I just point this out because I love this? I think you guys in the comments have spelled Sydney every single way possible today.
They have
literally every single way. So I have a question for Anthony. Anthony, what is the correct spelling of Sydney?
SYDNEY.
No.
Can I take a stab? Wait, hold up. SYDNI.
Yes.
Crap! It is NI.
I've taken out enough.
It is NI. I thought it was NEY. Crap.
No, it's not NEY.
Okay, it's NI. Okay, gotcha.
SYDNI. But good job.
SK, gotcha.
Every single one.
I think you're the only Sydney I've ever met that's spelled that way too.
I think my parents might have been.
Air says, I absolutely admire and appreciate your selflessness. You guys are really decent people, and I think you are all so lucky and grateful. So Thank you very much. I feel like we are, but do what we can. Next up, we've got Tamara.
Tamara!
Yeah, there's Tamara.
There's Tamara.
That's awesome.
Love you, Tamara.
Hans says the track is on my lower. That's what it is, Hans. Yes. Usually at Waxstock, I believe it takes a few beers and eventually starts showing everybody. I can't remember. Delaney is truly an Irish name.
It absolutely is.
Is it actually Irish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yep, because both Mike and I are Irish, and his family is from Ireland, obviously, his grandma, and so we wanted to give both of our kids Irish names. And Delaney, we did find that, and it actually means the challenger, and she has lived up to that. Yeah.
So hopefully Air will save you a spot in his castle to come visit sometime.
It is actually, though, it's actually a last name, though.
Is it?
So it's not typically used as a first name. It's actually it's actually a last name, but it's fine.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. Anna says, an expensive Snap-on Toolbox. Don't judge, but I've got a good deal on their student. No, Anna, we know you get a killer deal with that. Thanks. So what I would probably do, I mean, if it's used, I'm assuming if you've used it, you can waterless wash it if you wanna clay it. You can't. It's powder coat though, so it's chances are it's not gonna mar easily or anything like that. If you want to polish it, you can. You don't necessarily have to. You could just waterless wash it, rinseless wash it, make sure to clean and dry everything up, obviously. And then if you want to clay it, depends on how much, if the clay has any marring on the powder coat. If it doesn't, then go straight into coating with a panel prep of your choice. But you can absolutely coat a toolbox. I would just be mindful of what's the powder. Is it a gloss powder coat? Is it satin? Is it textured? If it's textured or satin, you don't want to polish, just coat over it. If it is gloss, then you can polish it if you want to. I don't see any downside to.
Just treat
honestly,
it like a car.
It should make it to where your fingerprints are easier to clean off of on the front, on the side, things like that. I spray my cabinets, my Husky cabinets. I spray them down like Bead Maker and stuff like that.
Totally.
Just
that's all I do.
Wipe them up.
Yep.
But coating, if you have a Snap-on, I'd coat it. Yeah, I'd also coat it personally.
I'd PPF it, honestly.
Yeah, PPF it. Yeah, that's a new car right there. Joey Belinsky says, the quart of rehab feels like an 8-ounce in my hand, no complaints. Well, Joey Belinsky is a reacher-sized gentleman, you know what I mean?
Well, 8 ounces is going to feel like a 1 ounce to you.
Yeah, it's because he's a giant. Yeah.
He's a giant. We're not all, his size, It's okay. Gabe Garcia.
Whoa.
From the Rag Company. Question for all. Favorite all-around dressing for interior and exterior use?
I know what he wants me to say. It's so funny.
We're doing for both or one for interior, one for exterior?
You go first. Yeah.
One for interior,
go. No, all around.
No, he
for
wants
both.
all around for both.
Oh, man, I don't know, because I use a different one for both. I'd say dynamic. If you're doing if you want one for inside and out, that's probably what I'd go with.
Yeah. Dynamic's good. I would probably choose natural finish.
I knew it.
Dynamic's great The reason why Dynamic's great is because you could dilute it, right? So it doesn't have to be super shiny for the inside. So if it were me, I'm going to hack the system and I'm going to use Dynamic first on the outside, do everything I need to do, and then I'm going to dilute it and go inside, right? So I would do that. But natural finish is probably the one that if I could only choose one, I would probably go with natural finish.
Good answers. Ron says, I put rehab in a detailed image squeeze bottle. Much easier. Yeah, that's one way to do it. Yeah. No problems there. And then Flak Pyro says, Anthony, exclamation point. If I want to make Portuguese beans but can't find linguiça here in Canada, what can I use instead? Oh, man. So the thing is, a lot of the flavor is actually going to come from the linguiça. Truthfully, that sausage has kind of a, vinegary-ish kind of like flavor to it. And that's just a characteristic of linguiça. The closest thing you're going to find would be like a chorizo, right? Like a traditional chorizo. But a chorizo won't be of that level, right? That linguiça is going to have. So I would try to see if you can order some in, if you can find it. I'm surprised to hear that you can't find linguiça in Canada. There's lots of Portuguese people in Canada. So I don't know why you couldn't find it around. But like Silva is a good linguiça brand if you want to see if you can order some in or find that locally. That's really you kind of gotta have the linguiça, and you kind of have to I like to add the bacon. Like that's a thing that I do. The bacon and beer is like a me thing that I like to do, but you don't have to necessarily do that either. So hopefully that helps. Next up, Smokey67. Watch the garage rescue video. Great job. Thank you. You have to check out Matt around 1921 peeking over the cabinet. That pic needs to be a decal on those awesome cabinets and everywhere. We should do that. We need to get just Matty watching over us, making sure we're keeping things organized. All right, Lucas?
What are the little yellow/orange dots or streaks that end up on my car? It's not bird poop. Do these things etch paint like bird poop? I've heard it was bee poop.
I call it bee poop. I don't know who does it or what does it, but I call it bee poop. Totally.
Like a little bit like that fine layer of like
those little
dots.
like dots of like, and it's usually like in a little string, and I always just flick it off with my nail, but like it doesn't come off when you wash, but it comes off easy if you like break it. But it's just like little like strips of it, and it feels like pollen, but it's like little, and there will be like 3 on a car.
Yeah.
And so I call it bee poop. I have no idea what it is, but I call it bee poop.
Yeah, I don't know what I know.
But you have to like flick it off. Like it doesn't just come off. Even when you clay over it, it doesn't come off. You have to like.
Yeah. I only ever noticed on like white cars is pretty visual.
Yeah.
No, none of my other cars.
And it's not like covered a lot. It's like random. I think that's why people think it's bees, because it's like 1 or 2 places on the entire car.
Random spot
so it's not like sap or pollen, because it's just like 1 or 2 little. But I always notice it like in the final wipe down, and then I'm like, oh man, there's some bee poop.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. You know where I saw a lot of that actually was, remember, I think it was one of the years at Monterey we were there at the golf course. I remember seeing a lot of it there.
Yeah.
And that's when we found out that, certain bugs are attracted to the scent of sweet things.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh man.
That was a nightmare.
The Celine booth was like, wow, our cars look amazing.
They were just hovering
all
everywhere.
These bugs everywhere. I'm like, I don't know.
That was crazy.
G. Davis says, congrats to Hans Klosen and Luke Berkey on the launch of their new personal air company called the Bordello of Blowers.
That's funny.
Oh, G
Davis.
That's funny. Tamara says, I thought I bought a new carpet liner. Can I spray fabric sealant on it? Carpet liner.
Is that a plastic liner? If it's a plastic carpet liner, you don't want to spray fabric protectant.
Is it a carpet mat? I want to keep dirt or
liquid from messing.
Carpet liner?
So if it's like a floor mat, I mean, you absolutely could put a fabric protectant on it. But if it's plastic, you want to put a plastic protectant on it.
All right, so Sid's got to get out of here. So we have a football game. We have a football game. Do we have any last questions here? One more, maybe not. We're done.
All right.
We've made it to the end. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, Lucas.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sid. Thank you so much for joining us on this Q&A Thursday. It's been a fun time. We had some good questions here. And really hope that the other part of the lads, we hope Levi and Dane, we hope Levi makes it back safe here soon. We hope Dane has a safe time on his adventures. I'm sure we'll see him chime in from time to time over the next week or two.
When he does come back, can we have him wearing his lederhosen while running the iPad?
There you go.
He must.
Yeah.
He must wear his lederhosen. I will wear mine as well. If I need to break mine out just to make him feel comfortable, I will. But this has been a lot of fun. So as always, we're going to be going live next week. We'll be back here again for more Q&A Thursdays. I don't know. I don't want to say don't go anywhere, but I mean don't like and subscribe, right? I mean, life's a ride, man. I mean. Go to Lululemon, buy leggings, go do things, wear man purses. I mean, it's 2024, right? We're getting away with more. I like that. So as always, if you guys enjoyed this, hit the like button, comment down below. We'll see you guys next week. Happy Friday, happy Thursday.